This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pointy Bakery. If you're located in the Pointy area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pointy Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. Okay, all right, let's just start off with the big thing that this week we were excited about was the Venom movie. And there's no like new COVID passport related stuff, right, this week?
No.
Okay, okay, cool. So we'll just jump into like the primary topic of the week, which is Venom. What do you think?
That was okay.
Really?
Yeah. Like, okay. Yeah, I think the story-wise not as great as the first one.
Okay, fair. I'll give you that one.
I mean, the action is there, but it's just is lacking in the story.
Okay, so when we first saw the rating, it was 4, and then later on it got like 8. You sent me?
No, there's this different what do you call it? Like different networks or whatever. They give different whatever.
Like IGN is where I saw the 8.
Yeah, IGN said, was it 8 or 7? I think 7.
And then the first one I saw was 4.
GameSpot said 4. So like,
yeah. Rotten Tomatoes got 89.
Well, that's audience.
Yeah.
It was about 70 with the critics. So it was kind of like on par with IGN.
Interesting. Oh, okay. So I rated it a 7. I didn't even know about the 70. I thought it was an 8 from IGN.
No. They give it like out of 100 percentage, right? On Rotten Tomatoes.
No, yeah, but 7 divided.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah, I'm just using whatever their number they had.
Wait, but I didn't know that it averaged out at 7 because I was like, yeah, it's about a 7 movie. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't.
The critics' average was 7. Audience average was 89, I think.
Okay. So I was playing within that zone because so you didn't like it, right?
I didn't like it as much.
Like at all, or like as much?
Compared to the first one, I like the first one much, much better.
Wow, that's so funny because I actually like the second one better than the first one. I rewatched the first one recently.
I did too. And I liked the first one better.
I get you with the story. I get you with the story.
Yeah.
Okay, but like in terms of a fun ride, this was better. Like the first one, I was like,
they had the same, like they had the similar style of jokes. Everything was there. It's just, I think it's just a story that didn't do it for me.
No, but like if you don't look at the story, if you just look at the ride,
sure,
it wasn't even like a roller coaster because there was no downs. It was more like I felt like I was on Red Bull watching that. You know what I mean? Just like go.
No, that is true. That's true.
And it was almost like they just want to keep jam packing. Like even the way they were talking was so rapid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like jumping from scene to scene, progressing the story was so fast. Everything was like high octane.
Yeah.
You know. Well, although. Okay, spoiler alert. They transition into multiverse, but we'll get into that after.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I really liked about it.
But I think that's what they were getting to. I think it's more like we just need to get this thing done because we're about to enter the multiverse, you know?
Yeah.
And like because it felt like that. There was no like. Okay. So the reason why I say that is because when you enter the multiverse, now you're entering into like a bigger story. Mm-hmm. So all of the past characters don't matter. So it's like, why do we need to care about Carnage?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like everything that happened or whatever happened in the second movie didn't really. It was just to get to that point.
That's what I'm saying.
Of the post credit.
That's why it was like a high octane. Let's just get to the finish line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like because they switched to the multiverse, there's no point in the first 2 movies because he was in a different world.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, none of that exists anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole thing has been scrapped.
Yeah, right. So to me, it's like, which is kind of good because it's like, how do we bring in Spider-Man's universe? Actually, that's so genius because like, how do you bring in Sony's universe into Disney Marvel's universe, right? Okay, we'll just do multiverse. We'll just pull you from your own timeline into a whole new timeline, because then that way it's like, yeah, you can watch the first Spider-Mans, but they don't actually matter. You know, they matter in that world because that was their universe, but now we're in a different multiverse. So it does make sense, but I was wondering why, like, the reason why I was like, okay, high octane, it's the whole point is getting to the ending credits is because like they gave no backstory to like they gave it, but like not really.
You know, I thought it was like, it
just like quickly you're like, okay, this character, this character's gone now. This character came in, this character's gone now. You know what I mean? Like
there was no like, it was funny because of the whole. That's what I'm saying for the story part. Was like, okay, who is this? I'll just call her as Callisto because I think that's how I knew this person, but I don't know her actual name.
Wait, why do you call her that?
Isn't that from like Pirates or something?
That's her?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I thought it was her. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think so.
No, she would be old now, man. Yeah, because the Pirates is like 20 years ago.
Okay. Oh, she looked like her.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I
just remember that. But like there was like, who are these people?
But that's what I read when I saw the 4, right?
Yeah, it's like, are these mutants? Like, what's going on here?
So like, you're so confused because she is a mutant, and they're really talking about like, oh, I'm going to another place where there are more people like me. So I'm like, okay, so X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you doing this? Oh, yeah.
But
because they can't use the word mutant because they don't have the rights to do that. But Sony doesn't have the rights to do that.
Doesn't this make sense though? It's like Sony created this whole, like, they created X-Men, they created Spider-Man, they created Venom.
They didn't create X-Men.
What was X-Men? I'm pretty sure X-Men's Sony.
No, it's not.
Fox?
Yes.
Okay, so whatever. So it's all within the Marvel universe.
Like I mean, like Fox is now bought by Disney, right?
Okay, but
so like Disney can use those terms now. They
totally. So, but what I'm saying is like, what about the timelines? What about all the other movies?
Yeah.
Like by doing the well, I guess we're jumping straight into multiverse right now, but
because that was the main thing at the end of it. Really, that's what I got out of it. That's the only part that I really liked.
Same. So like the multiverse thing now is like, you really do wipe the slate clean with everything, and it doesn't matter if we jump to like a new X-Men, because then people are like, what about the old X-Men's? And it's like, no, but this is our timeline, this is our Disney X-Men, so they don't need to cast Hugh Jackman anymore.
No,
because it's like, you know, he was Wolverine, but that's a different
timeline universe. You know?
And like Deadpool, how will Deadpool? But then it's cool because of the multiverse thing, they can pull in whatever characters they want at this point.
Yeah, and so they don't have to explain it anymore.
They don't, because like, yeah, you just got pulled in.
Yeah.
So like, you have like Deadpool, and people love Deadpool, so Deadpool might make a cameo in the future Marvel movie.
Yeah.
You know, they can do that now because timelines. They just have to put in a different scene where it's like it just jumps back to how he got warped. That's all.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but all right. So before we get into timeline stuff, let's talk about the movie. Actually, let me go back to the 4 rating, because when I read the 4 rating, that's what they said. They're like, they gave no backstory to these people. But it makes sense now if you look at it as a transition to the multiverse. Then it's like, of course, well, who cares about them?
No, I get that. Yeah,
but that's
critics, you're waiting at the end credits here,
right. But as critics and people who are just watching the movie, they're like, what was the point of this movie?
As a movie,
it's too quick.
As a standalone movie, yeah,
it was just too fast. Like everything was like, there's no lead up to anything.
Really.
so this was interesting. So Andy Serkis directed the movie. I thought he played Venom in it.
No,
because I was watching interviews. I'm saying, and like they were
right. He was in the interviews. Yeah,
so I was like, why is he
in the movie?
And then he kept talking about like motion capture, blah blah, blah, and like playing like Gollum, playing who else did he play? He played Black Panther. He was in Black Panther.
Yeah.
So all this stuff, and then when I saw like, directed by Andy Serkis, I was like, okay, so that's why he's in the interviews.
Didn't you know who the director was?
Yeah, no,
it's funny.
Totally. Yeah. And then Tom Hardy was a co-writer for this thing, which was really fascinating as well. It's like you could see it though, because even with the first Venom, Tom Hardy's character. So like I liked Tom Hardy's clothing and his tattoos, And then when I researched it, those are actually his real tattoos. So like everything you see of Eddie Brock, that was just Tom Hardy walking onto set.
Okay.
Like him Tom Hardy as a person. Like that was just Tom Hardy. And then it's cool like to see that he co-wrote Venom, because then you're like, okay, I get it. That's why he has a lot of your style in it.
Right.
You know? What are you searching up?
So her name is, and she was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Her name actually is Naomi Harris.
Oh, I know that person. I've heard the name.
She's in, looking at it here on IMDb, she's also in...
she was in Pirates 3?
It was called...
She was Callisto?
Dead Man's Chest.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so she was in the 3rd.
Yeah.
That really
2006.
was Callisto? It was Callisto? Or Callisto?
It says Tia Del Mar. Is that her?
I have no idea.
Is that Callisto? I don't know. She was in it, but I don't remember what her name was.
Okay, well, whatever. So she was in Pirates. Oh, that's so interesting, because I was like...
Yeah, because I recognize her face in a lot of movies I've seen. I just don't remember her name.
Oh, she's done other ones.
Other movies that I've seen and that she's been in, yeah.
Isn't it weird that this took so long? Because like Woody Harrelson or whatever, he was teased at the end of the first one, and then it took so many years. Like they knew where they were going with this one. Yeah. Oh, what else are you looking at?
No. She's also in No Time to Die.
Oh, the new
Bond. The new Bond movie. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see her again next week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, it's weird. It's weird the time delay between these two, because you're like, how long did you plan this all out? You know? Right. And like, did you know that it was going to be a transitionary thing? You know what I'm saying? What are you searching?
No. Was it going to be a transitionary thing? Like in the movies?
Yeah, like how long did you know that this was going to be your transitionary movie? Because they planned Carnage from like a while ago, or do you think they just like they put in Woody Harrelson? They're like, yo, we're going to give you a retainer. We want you to stay because we're going to use you for something, and there was no script. I don't know, like, you know. Because it was a really long time delay between the first and the second movie. So,
but I think it's time delayed because of the pandemic. They may have already done.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering if it's like pandemic related too.
Yeah, I think the movie was ready. Just they didn't. Really? They pushed it. I believe.
I don't know.
I believe they pushed it because of the pandemic.
Okay. So it would have came out like. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
And was Spider-Man delayed as well?
Yeah, everything's been delayed. Everything was pushed.
Okay, so it would have been last year.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like,
or at least last year, or like the February time or something.
Right.
March
okay.
time.
So we have to like delete the.
You got to get rid of the pandemic time. Those months, and then
because I was like, oh, this feels like a really long time since the last.
Yeah, it is. It does feel like that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And yeah, what do you?
No, I'm just making sure that it was Callisto. She does look like that. I guess
you're obsessed with finding out if it was
right. Callisto. Is that her? Right?
I don't know.
I don't know if her name is Callisto, but that's just how I knew it.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll go with it's Callisto.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So
yeah.
I'm wondering now what the next thing's gonna be, because like they have Eternals coming out next in November. Oh, what's up? While you're on that mission.
Sorry,
holy.
It's Calypso.
Okay.
There we go. Not Callisto.
What's where'd you get Callisto from? Oh no, Callisto's an X-Men. That's probably why you were thinking that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
No, that isn't it. Because when you said, I was like, which X-Men was she? Calypso. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
From the movie. All right, cool. So
we're done with that.
You're on a mission there. You're like, I gotta find out her name. So I'm wondering like what the next connection is going to be, given November 5th is Eternals.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, it's like, what is the next piece that's going to lead into Spider-Man, and is it going to be a part of Spider-Man? Because we saw like kind of Galactus in the Eternals. It seemed like it was Galactus,
it seemed like that,
right? So will it tie into Spider-Man? Will it not? I kind of feel like Spider-Man's about to be like the pivotal movie that's like, this thing is going to set off the chain of reactions for the next one.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Eternals. Eternals doesn't seem like, it sounds like it seems
I think
like
no,
an
but
origin
Eternals
story.
is gonna like, especially the main movie will probably just focus on like who these Eternals are.
Yeah, it's like an origin story.
And they're
right?
yeah, and maybe some events that have happened since like Infinity War, like it's probably going to be talked about, right? Like
Right. Okay, true.
affecting them, and why they, I guess, came out of because it seems like they were on Earth for a long time, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
what made them come out?
And they even said like, why didn't you join Thanos or whatever? I don't remember what they said for that one. Because remember we asked like, why didn't you fight against Thanos?
Yeah. So it's more about like who these people are. It'll be interesting to see what the post-credit scene is.
True. Yeah.
That's
so
the
funny.
thing.
That really is what drives everything. Eh?
Yeah.
Like if you look back at the Iron Man series,
I know
the post-credit scenes were always the ones that pushed everything forward.
Yeah. Like they have a plan. I think they had a plan even from like back in like when they first saw Iron Man. They had an idea where they want to go.
Right. Like a general.
Yeah, they have
outline.
a general idea, but the story is not fully written, right? But they have a general idea.
Right.
So I think the same thing, right, is going on here.
I was actually just watching. I didn't finish it yet, but it was the director of Shang-Chi, and he was saying that the first fight scene was like pivotal to the movie, but they didn't really. He was like, I was just pitching the fight scene, so I was like, is that how it works in Hollywood? It's kind of like you just give them an idea, like you paint a picture in their mind, but you don't actually have. Because he's like, we didn't have it written out. I was just pitching like, okay, what if this happened? Oh, okay, and then this could happen next, and this can happen, right? And they were like, they're buying into it. And we kind of saw that with that show, the one you used to show me. Remember?
I used to show you a show.
Yeah, starts with E.
Oh, Entourage.
Yeah, Entourage. Remember that when he was like a director?
Yeah.
And then it was just like a bunch of pitches because he'd read.
Yeah.
And like to sell ideas.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's what it is.
I think that is part of it. There's an idea to sell, but then they're still waiting on a script too, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Right. You have an idea. Okay, go forward and do the script, kind of thing.
Right. And if it's good, we'll like make it.
Yeah. Well, and then they can make, what do you call it? Like edits to it, right? As they go. That's what happens all the time.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna call this right now, and your brother said in the car, and then when he said it, it clicked for me. He's like, we're gonna see Venom in the Spider-Man movie, and so the reason why I say this is because I was watching the interviews with Andy Serkis, and they were like, although it could just be because of the post-credit scene, that's why he was saying it, but they were asking about Spider-Man, right? Like, so Andy Serkis,
because I think people have been wondering that too. Is Venom going to be in Spider-Man?
So Tom Hardy, he allegedly, apparently he's notorious for like posts and deletes. So he posted a picture of Venom eating Spider-Man, and they deleted it. And then in the interview, they asked him like, "Why did you post that?" And he's like, "Oh, because he gave some like loose answer." And they're like, "Are you trying to say Venom's going to be in Spider-Man?" He's like, "Oh, well, we need to focus first on this movie." And I was like, okay. And then watching the post-credit scene, it's like, okay, so he was talking about that.
Yeah.
But is he going to be in the actual movie? And I think he is, because you don't remember this, but we should have watched the trailer beforehand. But in the cafeteria scene, Spider-Man's wearing a black suit. So I'm like, that's the symbiote Spider-Man. Right? And I'm wondering, like, or like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, maybe it's like a new ninja suit he's trying to wear. It could be that. It could just be a ninja suit, But then when you watch this post credits, you're kind of like, or is it the symbiote? We don't know. So I'm calling it. He's gonna make an appearance, Venom, in this movie.
Okay.
Well, yeah, which would be pretty cool. Like, they're doing some amazing things at Marvel.
Yeah, I mean,
like this is pretty. it's pretty out there. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I think that Spider-Man now is the main face of it all.
Yeah, well, which makes sense too because like Spider-Man was the protege of Tony Stark, right?
Yeah.
So
That's what they were doing. They were leading to that, right? And now Spider-Man is the one that's like we've been like he's been there in the Marvel universe for the longest now, right? All these new ones are all very, very new.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's true. Well, what do you think they're doing with Black Panther now? We always bring this up.
I don't know. Yeah,
like
because
curious, like why?
Yeah, I don't know.
But okay, so remember Shang-Chi when that guy fought in? It was the Asian dude. He fought in the tournament.
Yeah.
Remember, and then it showed that the Asian dude was like, oh, what's his name?
I don't know.
All right, so like,
from Doctor Strange, right? You're talking about that person.
So he kept showing up. Like he showed up at the end of Shang-Chi, and he's like, "Come with me." And it seemed like in the Spider-Man movie, he was like going to recruit people, right? Because it was like he teleported and he told Doctor Strange like, "Don't cast that spell."
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, there's a big movement afoot.
I mean, it's funny. Yeah, he's making appearances now and everywhere.
Yeah, he is.
He's the one connecting it.
And they're really like they're really fusing like this whole like Marvel universe is really intertwined now.
Yeah, I mean this is the stuff that we've got in the comics.
Right, totally.
Right.
Totally. But it took so long because remember like the first Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
And then his building.
Yeah.
Everyone only got their solo movie. You never saw any cross like movie.
Yeah.
You know,
whatever. But I think it makes sense. Like us coming from the comic background, we know about all this, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it's the general audience. A lot of them don't know that these are all connected in the same universe.
Yeah.
So it was like they did it in a way that people, slowly got used to it, and then they're like,
because of Avengers,
yes,
right? And they're like, okay, they can all mingle in the same movie,
yeah.
And then now it's like even in Shang-Chi, that little small part with the Asian dude and Doctor Strange's like partner in crime. It's like little things like that. Now you're kind of like looking for these.
Yeah, it's like
Easter eggs.
Yeah. It's like exactly.
Yeah.
Like seeing them in there. Like I remember watching Shang-Chi and it's like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Yeah. And then, but he had like a key role because he's the one who brought in Shang-Chi at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
Right?
Yeah, at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really, especially because like the way they're positioning Spider-Man, the multiverse thing, having him go to Doctor Strange to fix his problem. That's very interesting. It's like, because before, right, it was like these are all standalone movies. You have to rely on yourself.
Yeah.
Now it's like now we can go meet other people and like ask them for stuff. And I love how they also did the other thing where they showed like they're busy. They're doing their own things. What was that? Shang-Chi? I can't remember the movie where it's like they showed Hulk and Captain Marvel at the end. Remember? And she's like, "Oh, I have to go get this." And then, was that Shang-Chi?
I think so.
It was, right? Yeah, it was.
It was. Yeah,
at the very end. Right,
yeah.
And then So it's really cool, like seeing those like little Easter egg things too, where it's like we're building a whole universe, and it makes sense. Like they're all busy doing their own things. That's why they have their individual movies, but then they come together for like the bigger movie.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Eternals is going to be really, really good as well. Yeah. Anything else about
Venom?
Venom, yeah. I guess it's really more about Marvel.
It's more about the Marvel, yeah. I think it's just because, like
this was like a chess piece.
Yeah,
that was it. Well, so okay, let's just finish off with a rating. I got 7. I say it's a 7. What would you say?
I was like in the ballpark of 6 to 7. I'll just stick to 6.
Okay. So 6.5 is our final.
Yeah.
Do you think worthy of watch? Not really worthy of watch.
I think you really just need the post-credit scene.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
because it doesn't really change the story, though.
It doesn't change the story, but like the movie itself, like, do you think it was cool, like how they made Carnage Carnage is a part of the. I thought that was kind of weird though. Like,
yeah, it's not.
he bit his blood and then.
Yeah, I assumed that's. I was thinking that maybe that's how they're going to do it.
I don't like, but that's not. It's not in the comics.
It's not in the comics. It's a different symbiote itself. But it was kind of weird. Yeah, it was. Yeah, weird.
Actually, wait. Let's do our likes and dislikes in the movies because we did those for other movies. So, what did you like about the movie?
What did I like about the movie? I did like the fast talk, especially between Venom and
Me too, dude. There's
and
a
Eddie
lot
Brock.
of funny scenes.
I
in
did
there.
like that, and that was in the first movie, so I did like that.
What did he say? Where he's like, we're dead. Remember, like, and he's like, oh, but, all right. So,
yeah.
When he's like, it's a red one. Oh no! And then he like hid, and you're like, what? Like, the comic relief in that movie is really good.
Yeah.
I think Venom is a really cool character as like, but he's not really like that in the comics or even the TV show.
No, but I think it's not. Yeah,
it's a total Tom Hardy reimagination.
Yeah, and I think it's a good it's a good one.
Yeah, I agree. What they're saying is like the physical comedy of Tom Hardy is like really on point, and I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's almost like there's two people. Well, there's two people living in Tom Hardy's body, but it's very entertaining to watch as a physical performance. The comedy was really there. Yeah. I guess. So, what was the things we didn't like? It was just the.
I really didn't like the story. The backstory for those characters. Like that. I think that's my main gripe with it. But
what do you think of Carnage?
Like was
it like pretty awesome? Like I thought it was.
It was pretty good.
You know, what they're saying is, what Tom Hardy was saying is, he's like, if you watch the movie, it should be like, this is the Carnage we were thinking about from the comics. And I was like, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Like just straight bloodthirsty and like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it made sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved the like the T-Rex scream of Carnage. You know, like it's like, it was very like, oh, this guy is just straight killer.
Yeah. I think, it has been something we have been waiting for, which is like a Carnage and Venom thing.
Yeah.
Right. We got that fight scene. It was good.
And now it's done.
And yeah, it's like, yeah, it's
so
fine.
will not be a Carnage in the future movies.
Yeah.
Well, although, all right, so there were a couple scenes there that I was like, this is just too ridiculous now. Remember they were fighting in the church, and then all of a sudden the fiance of his ex was like, fire, and then like he poured, I was like, where did this guy come from? You know, it was like, it was just so ridiculous. The movie's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you're right in the sense that it's just meant to be a roller coaster ride.
High octane. No, there was no downs. So it was just
right.
It was just all speed.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah,
and spurring in all the comedy that they need in there, right?
Yeah,
so I think that's kind of. I mean, it's in that sense, I understand why the audience kind of liked it. Right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was just like straight fun. And even remember the party scene where everybody thought he was wearing a costume.
It was a weird. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so it was like. And then he gave a speech at the end.
He gave a speech.
It was so weird.
But it was like movie. It's such a but it fit today's time of being freedom and acceptance and acceptance. So I kind of like that. I like that.
They even in the first one, they're doing like a lot of subliminal messages about like life, and like even at the end, remember he's like, "Oh, Osho says," and I was like,
yeah. I mean, it was in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, he was like trying to like meditate or like all that stuff.
That was in the first movie, right?
Sorry, in the first movie.
Yeah. That's why I like the first movie. When I was watching it with my sister, like the first time, I was like, "There's a lot of spiritualism here," but I think that's the influence of Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I think so.
And then the second movie, they added it again, not as much as the first one.
No,
because like they were really talking about meditation in the first one, like all this other stuff. But like in the second one, like they had a couple of moments of spirituality, but not as much as the first one. Do you think they're going to do a standalone Venom movie again after this?
They might, yeah.
But within the Marvel universe, the Disney universe, or the Sony one?
Well, I think when they fix the timelines.
Oh, true. Then he'll go back to the Sony one, and then he'll have his like.
Because something happened at the end, right? I don't know what happened to that cop guy. I don't know what that is about.
Oh, true. So maybe they are setting up. For
I mean, they have an idea or something, but I don't know what that is, right?
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because it does seem like there is a there's potential for the Venom universe. Like I do like it.
Yeah.
I do like Tom Hardy's portrayal of Venom. It's cool.
Yeah. There's a lot. I remember a lot of the criticism way before even the first movie came out. Just because.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, like why is Tom Hardy playing him?
Yeah, it just felt. I guess people felt weird about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be that kind of reaction.
Do you remember Venom from the comics? Or not the comics, the TV show, like the Action Spider-Man? He was like, they were both working at the Daily Bugle, and he was like kind of a bully. But like, that wasn't the portrayal of Venom in this movie. You know?
Yeah.
So...
But I think that's what, it kind of makes sense, this version of Venom. They're really, like, when you say, like, at the end of that post-credit, saying it's a different universe, like, not even having Spider-Man necessarily in this Venom world.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He wasn't in that world. Yeah. That's true. That's so true. Yeah, I forgot about that. Because he was originally in New York, remember? And she's like, oh, you got ran in New York. But, like, he never talked about Spider-Man before. And then why was he so shocked to see Spider-Man at the end?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he have been like, oh, it's just like the one in my universe, but a different guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. Maybe there was no Spider-Man
in that Venom universe. So
interesting. Yeah. I think it's still worth the watch. It's just like fun. I don't know if it's like a theater worthy watch.
Right.
Like maybe just wait for the digital streaming and stuff. Would you agree, or do you think it's like worthy for movies, like theaters? Or go on a cheap Tuesday. One of those.
Yeah, I guess one of those should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I said it's okay. Like it's fine.
Yeah, true.
Right, it's not bad. I wouldn't say like.
But
I don't agree with the 4.
It's a little too. Yeah, no, it's definitely not 4. I was expecting like a long, boring movie. If it's a 4, I was like, okay, I'll just be bored. But it's like, no. I get why it got a 4.
Yeah.
In terms of story, right. But like as a movie as a whole, it's like it's definitely not worthy of 4. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Tom Hardy, he might be playing like because Bond's coming out next week. He's in the running for playing Bond. There's Idris Elba. Tom Hardy. Yeah,
it's gonna be. I don't know if I see him as Bond.
I do not see him as Bond either.
Yeah, I think there's a suaveness to Bond that I don't think he necessarily has.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's too gritty.
Yeah,
for that kind of role.
Totally. Unless they reimagine Bond again.
Yeah,
and Bond becomes spiritual.
I can see Idris Elba. That makes more sense.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But I don't know.
We'll talk about it after when we.
Sure. Yeah, that's a different thing itself. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so another crazy thing that happened this week was Tyrone Woodley got the tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You saw it, right? In the middle finger?
Yeah.
So it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know. He was getting a lot of flack from UFC fighters for getting it.
Yeah.
Some people were like, that's not even a tattoo. Like, some people were like, this guy, Dan Hardy, was making fun of him, and he was also like saying that it was just drawn on with pen.
Oh, okay.
Like, but I'm sure it was a real tattoo. But just the fact that he got the tattoo is very. It was like, I don't know, shameful. Something, it's like he really needs the money or something.
Yeah, it's
like,
so weird.
Why are you stooping that low? And then his call outs were like, I got the tattoo, send over the contract. And then Jake Paul, his response was like, yeah, I got a response for you. And then he spits out a piece of paper and it says, I love you too. So it's like, oh, if you guys don't fight again, you just got it. Like, you just begged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I guess this is like the sad world of MMA fighters, right? It's like, they kind of, like, if they have no money at the end of it, it's like, you're hurting for cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. Do you think they're gonna fight again? Could you imagine if because all right, so it's crazy. He's like, because Tyrone Woodley was like, send the contract, I'll get the tattoo. And then I guess he never sent the contract. So Tyrone Woodley's like, oh, I'm missing out on my payday. So he gets the tattoo anyways. And then Jake Paul's like, I'm still not sending over the contract. So it's like, oh, like you're thirsty.
We'll see. Yeah. I mean, he didn't necessarily say that he's not going to send a contract, but we'll see.
I don't know. Like, imagine if he doesn't. That'd be
we'll see, right? If the next fight is not with him, then.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Laser that off or something, Yeah, I wonder what like brings a person to that like level.
I don't know.
Yeah, sad. Okay, so actually another big thing that happened this week, although we didn't really look into it, I was trying to tell you about it. I don't think you looked into it. The 2008, the financial crisis that's happening right now. So do you know anything about it?
No.
Okay, so it was a big thing back in like 2008 during the financial bubble. So they kind of like screwed themselves over. They can't pay off their debts. They're not liquid anymore. And the option was Obama would either sign this thing and extend the debt period or not sign it, and then they would go bankrupt. But if he signed it, it'll just give them X amount of years before they have to readdress this issue. So now they're facing this issue again. It like finally caught up to them. Like
Right.
we all, like I knew this was coming. I was waiting for it. If you watch like The Big Short, like it's a part of that time.
Yeah.
And so now the big controversy is mid-October, they're going to run out of money again. So they're faced with the same problem. Like, do we extend it or do we just file bankruptcy?
Most likely probably gonna extend it.
Totally, I agree. But like, this is
I think it's
weird.
it's a debt limit, right?
I think so.
There's going to increase the debt limit.
Is that what it is?
I think so. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, so it's weird.
It's just playing with money that's not real, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's really all it is. But what it'll do is like if you print. So the problem with printing infinite amount of money is the more money you print, the less value that money has.
Yeah.
Right. So like because you're just like dividing up. So like if like let's say a piece of gold, and then you're like, let's divide it further. So it has X amount of value, but then if you divide those pieces even further, those pieces are worth less. You get what I'm saying? So is this potentially going to devalue the U.S. economy like a lot if they extend the thing?
I have no idea.
Right?
I don't know.
I'm just kind of worried about it because it's like...
When did they last time they increased the debt limit? Though?
Like 10 years ago, like when this issue happened. This was like a big issue like 10 years ago. I'm surprised nobody talks about it. I was the only one that like remembered it, and I was like, this is going to happen, guys. Like,
yeah, of course.
And then now it's like happening, and it's like, okay, nobody addressed this issue in the time that we had. But it's funny because like Obama signed it, and then Trump got into office, and I guess they were kind of like, well, it's the what was it, conservatives? Yeah, so Republicans. So it's the Republican issue, but then it went back to the liberal, or not liberal,
Democrats.
I keep getting them. So it went back to the Democrats, and now it's back in their court because like Obama kicked the can. He's like, good luck, guys, and then it came back to Obama again, which is Biden.
Democrats again. Yeah.
So it's like now it's back on their issue, and like, what are they going to decide to do with it? Maybe that's why they pulled them out of Afghanistan. They're like, this is just adding to our
they're just spending
debt, that
money that they don't need to spend anymore.
Right?
Over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So October could be an interesting month if they like, depending on what
we'll
they decide
see.
to do.
Yeah. We'll see how big of a news it really is.
Yeah, because it got brushed off. I was like, what? Like, how come nobody remembers this? But okay, so
it's not nobody remembers this. This is the news isn't going to do that, right? I'm pretty sure in the government, at least in the financial,
they're all freaking out. They're like, guys, we need to pay attention.
And they're trying to figure it out, I guess.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like I kept saying it before, that we might see a shift because of COVID towards like, superpower becoming China. Like this might even push it further in that direction. But I don't know. Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, China's going. They have a what's it called? Like a coal crisis.
Oh, really?
They're doing intermittent blackouts.
What?
Yeah, power outages
to save on coal.
Save on energy.
Wow. Okay, so if they're worse for wear, then all right, cool. We're like, then, because you know what I mean. It's like, okay, so the U.S. doing bad, but China's doing worse, so we're still on top.
I mean, they're all, it's all, it's an up and down game.
I wonder though, like, because of the way the world works right now, I don't think we're going to see any. I mean, we are seeing it in our day to day, but it's not super drastic. Like, for example, gas prices, right? So that is something we all see on our day to day, but it's not enough to like rock it's not going to like, I feel like these are all medicine drip shifts.
Talking about gasoline, UK has an issue, which is they well, to the limited knowledge that I know, it's like people are just buying gas, so they're running out of gas. But
didn't that happen in America too, like recently with the gas races?
Yeah, but that was a ransom that they had on the pipeline, right?
Right.
So this one is that UK says that they have
enough gas.
Yeah, but the issue is they don't have truckers.
Oh, okay.
And this is might be an effect because of Brexit, and a lot of those workers had to leave.
Oh,
and that they have a reduction in truckers, so that is affecting gas companies, because it's like at the gas stations they're all using it up, right? Because they don't think it's gonna, they're running out, and then it's like what's happening is what happened in the pandemic with the toilet paper. This is like the same thing. Like they have the gas, but they first of all they don't have truckers to bring them there. But
so people are
just freaking out, and they're filling up their cars with the thing.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I saw like an image of like an ambulance. He's like, we're trying to find gas.
Really?
Like an ambulance trucker. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like.
So they're like each of these stations just like ran out, or like what's going on? Wow.
Or running out. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Or the amount that are coming in isn't enough to cover the amount going out.
See, that's so interesting when you have to pay attention to everything around the world, because I didn't even know about these things like that are happening. I knew about the US one, like they had the issue, but I didn't know that Europe had it too. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, Europe I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like it's just beginning right now.
Yeah. I mean, if they figure out the trucker issue, maybe that'll fix it. But
it's almost like we built as a society, built like a really weak house of cards.
Yeah, I think the pandemic is what had an effect, right? Like I think the Brexit would have been Brexit was happening, and then the pandemic hit. They weren't prepared for these kinds of outcomes to how to recover from
and like society was like a house of cards, and then the pandemic was like a big gust of wind, and now it's like crashing everything. And it's like the problems. See, it's not even just the virus issue. It's really just like, how does society manage its people in a time when it has to slow everything down? You know what I mean? Like it was like, it runs fine. It's sort of like a bike, right? So like if you pedal fast enough on a bike, you won't fall down. But if you stop pedaling, you're going to fall off. So it's almost like society's kind of like that. You have to just keep going, but the pandemic slowed everything down to the point where it's like, oh no, we're going to fall off the bike now. Yeah. I read this book called Giants, the Global Power Elite. And one thing that they were saying in it, so basically 17 giant transnational corporations run the world. 17, they hold the majority of the money. So like they're not really running, like they're not calling policies, but like they own the money. Yeah. It's like, remember Game of Thrones? What was it? The Gold Bank or something? Yeah,
the banker. I know. I don't remember their name. But
that's funny, because they were going to go to war, and then they were like, we have to go to like the highest power, and the highest power was like the World Bank or whatever.
Right.
Because they
they need to borrow money. They are the ones.
Right. Totally. So, and they were impartial to it. They're like, hey, we're just holding the money. You guys fight it out however you want. But that's really how our world works, especially if you read the book. And one thing that I wanted to highlight that I thought was pretty interesting is they're like, the war on terror isn't a war on terror. It's a war on transnational globalism and like price hegemony. Right. So it's like, we got to keep everything good. And then people who want to destabilize that, they're considered terrorists. Right. Because if you think about like acts of terror, like bombing each other or torturing each other, right?
Yeah.
How come countries can get away with it as long as they play by the global rules? You know, in like Israel, Palestine, like all that stuff. What were you saying?
No, I mean, yeah, the like America with the way they like their torture. Right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But
yeah,
the way,
terrorism.
the way it's the loophole with the legality. It's not on American soil.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, see, it's funny. It's House of Cards, man. Like we're building this thing that's like fictitious. You know, there's no real rules out there.
If you see it, you'll see it in that doc.
Turning Point.
Turning Point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yes, I'm still watching that
Because
one.
they get into the Guantanamo stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. See, but it's like we as a society created these like there's no like rule in so like there's like different forms of truths, right? So there's like universal truths like gravity, right? You can't argue that. No matter what you do, it's like it's going to be there. And then there's like individual truths, which is like religion. You know, you believe whatever you want to believe. And then like there's accepted truths, which is like marketing. So it's like as a society we agree upon these rules, right? And then people who break these rules, but that's so fake that you know what I mean? Like there's no global definition of terror. So like, okay, but it's not on our soil.
Yeah.
So we can do these things, like these torture techniques, because it's not on our soil. It's like, okay, but you're still doing it, you know? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
It's weird. So like loose. Yeah. Do you see the, I think I showed you the Wall Street Journal pictures of the Taliban enjoying.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like another reminder of us as humans, man. Like they're just,
I mean, we're all human beings, isn't that?
Races.
Isn't that the thing? Like we're all one race.
They had smartphones in that pictures of like they're taking photos of each other in like the boat, you know, selfies. Yeah, I wonder, you know, like, are we gonna see more of? Like, how many people look at those photos and they're like, "Wait, I do that." Like, I like go-karting. I like taking pictures with my family. You know. Like, are we going to continuously push a divide, or are we going to start to like come together? I don't know.
No, I mean, we're gonna be what we've always been doing.
Which is like separate. No, but
it's an yin and yang thing. At times we join together for certain causes. There's other causes that we disagree on.
But I don't know. I feel like with the internet, if you're really paying attention, like if you look at those photos,
yeah, but I don't know.
Like when I saw those photos, I was like, oh, see, human stuff.
Sure, yeah, but I don't think I don't know if everyone sees it like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, yeah, like internet has also divided people too, right?
Yeah, it's very true.
So.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, great segue. Speaking of divide, YouTube has now banned all anti-vax stuff, which I find very interesting as like a. I mean, I get it. It's so tricky because it's like, on one hand, I get it because that's bad misinformation, but on the other hand, it's like, what happened to freedom of speech? But do we ever really have freedom of speech? Because like hate speech, they'll take down. So it's like, what is the definition of freedom of speech? You know what I mean? Yeah,
there's misinformation, right, is not considered freedom of speech, right? I don't know. But it's YouTube's platform, right?
Oh, no, wait, hold on. There's two laws, libel and slander. So you can't make straight up lies and you can't like defame someone. Yeah. So those are two legalities. So maybe they're going with that.
I think they're probably using that. But again, it's a private platform, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they can do what they want to do.
It's just...
Right, you can't, like, government can't pass things like that. Necessarily. Like where it affects freedom of speech.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like,
these are not...
Government is meant to uphold that freedom of speech thing, but because it's a private platform, that's why they have the power to, like, do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's really going to feed into the conspiracy theorists, you know?
Of course, but they've always been doing that. I mean, they did it with Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Like they're going to do that, but these are platforms. These are not like private platforms. These are not.
Which is also interesting because we're talking about it, and like the conspiracy theorists are a very like small minority, a loud minority, right? But like in the poll, I saw that poll that you were saying as I was scrolling, 8 out of 10 agree with like vaccine passports. So it's like, okay, so the majority of us are already vaccinated. We all agree with it. It's just we're trying to accommodate the loud minority with this. And I guess, I don't know, I just have the feeling of like that almost is like a taking away of freedoms, even though I agree with it. You know?
Yeah.
Like with the banning on vaccine misinformation. It's like, no, I agree with it, but it's like, it just feels weird.
Yeah. I mean, there's, you know, we know that a lot of that misinformation is coming from these types of videos that they're watching, right?
Yeah, totally.
So when they, like, if they get sick and they're like, oh, I should have got the vaccine or whatever they were saying.
Which is happening a lot.
Yeah. And it's like, well, then, you know, it's kind of like maybe YouTube thinking like, okay, I think we gotta, you know, change this a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I heard this really funny thing from our
and I think YouTube is more mainstream, right? They've come to that mainstream level where they now have to act on these things.
Oh yeah. I see. They realize how much power they have.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we need to really exercise some control here because like people are getting confused.
Yeah.
That's true. And then these social media platforms do have the power to destabilize countries. Like, let's not get it twisted. Remember the Egypt thing?
Yeah.
When they're trying to band together, so they use Twitter to like work together. And it's like, oh, social media. There you go. I really like, that's why I find the power of the internet like really change things, you know? Like, again, like even seeing, so back then, right, like during the Vietnam War, if you go to Vietnam, I've said this before on the podcast, but if you go to Vietnam, there's like all of these museums dedicated to the atrocities that the Americans did during the Vietnam War. Right. And they had like memorials for specific reporters who went from America, took these horrible photos and tried to send it back to America. So at that time, like during the Vietnam War, they're like, let's just not air this, right? On the news.
Yeah.
Right. But now it's like, yeah, just tweet it out. People will see it. You know what I mean? It's really like the Wall Street Journal pictures. I go back to it of like the humanity you see in the Afghanistan people. Yeah. It's like we wouldn't have seen that before, but now you're seeing. That's why I feel like there is this potential for global togetherness, just because.
I mean, there is. Yeah, I mean, there is. In generalities, you know, where we are at in our level of, let's say, trouble in the world or violence in the world, it's way less than where we were like 100 years ago, let's say.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it is in decline.
Yeah.
There are these pockets.
Yeah. So I feel like the internet really has like a lot of a power of like community based. Like, I don't know. There's something here that I'm sure like if I had more information and I was like at a higher level of like access, I'd see how it's working together. But to me, it just like from superficial, like just looking at it, I'm like, oh, there's a lot going on here. But imagine working at Facebook as a top exec, you know that, oh no, this is how we're going to change the world. You know what I mean? But like on our level, it's it seems like there's some connectivity going on here, you know? Yeah. Even like
sometimes it may not be that they necessarily know that they're changing the world, right? They have an idea for the company, but there's the catalyst of also.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
where it changes
it's like an indirect change.
Yeah.
Well, they talked about that. They brought down governments in like Africa, like political governments using Facebook.
Yeah. So like, but think about it, like the original idea of Facebook was connectivity of friends and family, and it turned into this.
Well, actually, it was an in-group out there, like the original. If you watch,
original,
it's
sure.
Like because he wanted to be cool. So
sure, right. But like when it became public, the original idea was just that
connecting other people together,
which then turned into all of this. So,
but like, so that's the crazy part of the internet. Like, even I was saying this to Tara, like her business, right? It's like it was. Like the majority of the marketing and like the way it's run is on Facebook. It's like you build like a social media business and people make lots of money doing this. It's like, whoa, there's something here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when back in 2016, I was talking about digital nomads. So like, that's crazy, you know? Actually, I didn't tell you this yet, but I just well, I'm just signed the contract on Tuesday, but I just got a freelance gig for a nonprofit, and again, it's all online. So it's like, whoa, what are we doing? You know, like I don't even need to meet you guys. I just need to log in for this amount of time, just like do some work for you. It's like, you know, it's like weird connectivity, man. I feel like people who don't tap into this are going to be like, wait, it's going to be like, you're going to be a dinosaur if you're not on the internet.
Yeah, I think most people will be on the internet. Like,
no, totally.
Right.
But like, because you know, like we're in that awkward age range where there are some of us who are super against the internet.
Sure, yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, sure, for our age.
But right, but going forward, like 20 years from now, they're gonna be like, "You're such a dinosaur." To those people that didn't jump on board, you know, what were you gonna say?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like all the younger generations, like that's.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I mean. So it's like you either jump on board or you don't, or you get left behind. The train is leaving the station. You either become a part of the train or you get left behind. Just like the vaccine thing, like the fact that
literally, yeah, can't get on trains.
Yeah, that's another thing that came out this week, which is like you can't get on a train or a plane within Canada without the vaccine. So it's like okay, even though 8 out of 10 Canadians agree with it, even though we both agree with it, there's just something that feels weird to me about doing that. You know, the Laurier thing, like we were talking about it just before the podcast, like certain online courses you can't take if you don't have the vaccine. And then like the meme people that I follow, they're like, wait, what? The COVID spreads online now? And it's like, the whole point was that if your test has to be done in person, right? That's why they're implementing this. Yeah. But to me, I'm like, why can't you just do like a COVID test?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, see what I'm saying? But it's like, it's like indirect. Everything's so indirect that it's like weird. Like when Trudeau's like, oh, we're never going to make it mandatory, and then subversion, it's like, it's not mandatory because that's not the Canadian way, but you can't do anything. Can't be eating the food courts.
Well, anymore. I think it makes sense if you're from, you know, in public society, right?
Yeah, but
as you know, as a together thing, I guess if you're not following the same rules, right? And it's like, it's kind of like that, right?
Oh, it's sort of like we're all driving and we're all stopping at the red light.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you
want to go through the red light, go through the red light.
But you get a ticket. Yeah. Oh, that's a great analogy for it. Yeah, that's true. We're just witnessing the acceptance of new rules, which would have been done anyways. Like nobody likes. We all like a medicine drip method. We don't like being like radically shifted. Yeah, and that's why. Because
I think where did I see this? There was another one. It was the same thing where it's like about seatbelts. Oh, I'm never going to wear seatbelts. Oh, this is such a bad rule. Like, they're taking away my freedoms, all this stuff.
Then, because you didn't need to wear seatbelts back then.
And then now it's like, oh, yeah, it's our safety. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's so fun. Actually, it is a medicine drip method because I remember as a kid, we never wore seatbelts. Like me and my dad would drive around and it was like, whatever. Yeah. But now it's like, no, it's super like mandatory.
Yeah. And no one's like checking your car, right? It's like,
nobody cares.
Not every cop is going to look at your car, right? Or like you're not seeing cops all the time, but we're still wearing seatbelts.
Yeah, true.
Right.
True. Or texting while driving. You know, it's like, before it was not illegal.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like super illegal.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Maybe that's the key. It's the medicine drip method.
Yeah.
You need to like implement all of the changes at a very small pace.
But the thing is, you can't act at a small pace when you're dealing with a pandemic.
Oh yeah. Fair point. Because these would have been shifted like.
I mean, we can see the differences, right? So. Like Ontario, we were one of the, I think, later ones that kind of opened up, right? Out of the provinces. And we still have the mask mandate and everything. Alberta in the summer, they removed everything.
Yeah.
But their ICUs are full.
Yeah, totally.
And they have to send stuff to Ontario. Send people to Ontario for using our ICUs. So
it's like with the rapidness of, like of the pandemic, it's like we really need to act quickly on everything. But that's why it's not acceptable. Maybe that is the reason why it was like bothering me, because I'm like, it feels like taking away of freedoms, but it's like, yeah, but those freedoms would have been taken away anyways. You just wouldn't have noticed it being taken away. Like that would be like me arguing for like using my phone while driving. It's like,
yeah.
But it, like, I didn't make a big stink about it back then because it was like, yeah, it was slow. It was very slow. It was like, all right, first a $400 fine. And then that $400 fine became $5,000. Now it became like, you can't drive anymore. It's like, but incremental processes. I wonder if people at the very top of government, they know this and they're like, we need to medicine drip everything.
Well, I mean, I think that's why they said 2 weeks.
Oh, true. Dude. Actually,
that's why they said 2 weeks.
Dude,
wait, another 2 weeks.
All right, so this is so tricky. You're so right because I remember the beginning of this when I was working for that other company. They were like, oh, we have some, like, when it was like 2 weeks, and we're like, okay, everyone in the office was like, it's 2 weeks, and then our executive director was like, I have connections within the medical society and they're saying it's going to be a year, so take what you need home, like what's important to you, bring it home. And we were like, no, but they said 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks became like year and a half. But they knew already, like he said, like it's going to be like a year. And then we were like, no, but he was like, take your stuff home, there's a reason why. You're right, medicine drip method. If they told us from the beginning, it would be like super long. We'd be like, no way. It's kind of freaky because then you wonder what other chess games are being played, Weird times. Actually, I had another thought about this. Do you think, I feel like social media and COVID also changed the way politics is run? Because everything is like so scrutinized and so quick, like for example, like the last week's Native American thing, the Truth and Reconciliation, they're all attacking Trudeau for being on vacation or something. But it's like, we wouldn't have known that before, but somebody just tweeted it out. They took a photo and they're like, oh, look, he's doing this, right? And it's like, it's almost like you have to always be on, one, and two, you have to do constant updates. Even the whole like him always being on TV, we kind of got used to that. Remember in the pandemic, every week or whatever, or every day.
Every day.
He would do like a specific press conference every day, right? And then now, even still, we're expecting that level of like, we need an answer from you all the time, And I feel like those two things, social media and the pandemic, really shifted the way politics is now. We want answers much quicker from our politicians, whereas before we didn't need it as much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like that puts people in like a really tough spot because you can't answer those questions so quickly. Yeah.
But also, like, yes, but we live in the social media world. I don't think majority of people do not. Still.
You mean us?
Yeah.
But no, right. You're saying majority of people will not. But what I'm saying is, if you don't jump on the train, you get left, right? So, sure, right now it seems like that, but then like, what, 10 years? Okay, 20 years. Like, it's going to shift everything. Now we're going to look for our politicians.
Yeah, no. In even with that, it's still like, most people are here just swiping through. They don't really care.
No, totally. But that also affects politics. This is like, what's the headline?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I feel like,
but it's everyone is playing the game, right? So it's like you're trying to attack him. It's like it's like the conservatives, because I have followed a lot of those conservatives too, just getting the other side of the picture. But it's like showing, like, they had the memes of him and doing all that stuff, right, on holiday or whatever, and then. But you guys were the same guys who were complaining about that they're not mass graves, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's an odd thing. It's
totally. Yeah. There proves the point even further. Now you're using social media to attack one another.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's becoming. It's almost like we're moving too fast with our information. Like, okay, so. One of the marketing tactics before is like negative source bias, which means like it doesn't have to be true, but you'll remember the fact even if the source is wrong.
Yeah.
That's like one of the methods marketers use. And then because nobody reads the what do you call that, the retraction, they'll only remember the first story. So even if it gets retracted or it was like proven false, they're like, but I heard this. You know. So like, because of that speed, I feel like we're shifting politics for the worse going forward. Because like, you're right, most people right now, I'm saying 10 years from now, 20 years from now, all the people that are like straight up on computers all the time, like that's the life we're building. Yeah.
But again, I think it's still going to be the same amount of people that care about politics or don't care about politics.
No, totally, for sure. But it's like, it's the headlines. You might not care about politics, but if you follow Six Buzz, you're gonna get it.
Yeah. But still, again, it depends on who really cares about that stuff. If the portion of people are still the same.
No, I agree with you. But it's like, even if they don't care about it, it's like they'll have that negative source bias. Oh, Trudeau
sure. Yeah.
And then it's like, now you're just gonna like, it's like you don't need to.
But if you go through so many headlines, you're not gonna remember everything.
Up until poll season, though.
Yeah, but everything
matter.
But that's the only time when people tend to pay attention is poll season. Like what just happened today, you're gonna forget this in the next month.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. I agree with you, yeah. Because there's so much news coming at you at once. Yeah. But all I'm saying is, like, to go back to my original point, which is, I think social media and the pandemic really changed the political landscape, because we're looking to answers way quicker.
Yeah, because they were
even on things that aren't about. So for example, we tuned in every single day to watch Trudeau talk about the pandemic, and then it shifted to he's making statements every single day about like when the mass graves came up, he's like, oh, I gotta talk about this right now because everyone's watching me, so it's a hot topic. Right, all these hot topics you have to answer really quickly, up until you found out later that they might not actually be mass graves. They could, with the LiDAR technology, you know, the thing you were saying before.
I wouldn't. They were not like unknown graves.
Exactly. So it's like, but we answered too quickly. Yeah. This is what I mean. It's like
people reacted, very quickly to something of misinformation.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And it's like social media.
Like we haven't even done the excavations. Doesn't mean that the graves
in there.
No, but it doesn't mean the bodies are not there. It's just that we haven't even done the excavations to see like how they died or something like that. Yeah. But we've already jumped to conclusions.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because social media and the pandemic really changed politics. Like social media, because now social media required answers quickly, but then the pandemic gave us those answers quickly because he was answering things every single day. Yeah. He was even making promises. Remember, like, we're going to do this, but then that would be like 3 weeks later, like with CERB and stuff. Yeah. Remember, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna get your money," but then
that was a very quick.
See what I mean?
Action. Yeah.
Where we're not slowing down enough to like look at the facts before we answer the question.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's the problem with the internet in that sense.
Right, and nobody can
of misinformation.
Yeah, and nobody can possibly. All right, so. No human being, no matter how good you are, even if you're The Rock, you can't synthesize all that information and then give an answer right away.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah.
So it's sort of like, it's kind of showing you like, it's like, oh, today we're repping this. All right, cool. Oh, we got to rep this. All right, cool. We'll rep this. But it's like, you don't even know what you're repping anymore.
Well, you know what it is now? It's technically AI has run the world.
Oh. Dude, that's trippy too. Dude, that's so trippy. No, it is. Yeah. It is algorithms. Because it's like, by AI, you don't mean like yes, algorithms.
Yeah. It'll come to that point, but it is algorithms. These are machines
that run the world.
Who have run the world.
That's
now.
True, because it's like, what am I being presented with, and then what am I going to care about because I'm seeing it all
the time.
And
what I keep seeing on my feed.
Because I wouldn't have known about the Laurier thing if my feed didn't show me that. But the algorithm told me like. But even so, I don't actually like the interface of Instagram right now, because now they're doing it in a way where it's like, it's not just what you follow, it's suggestions. Do you see that on Instagram? So like, I'll be scrolling and
I don't use it as much. So
okay, so they have this new thing where it's like, in my feed, they'll throw in a suggestion, but I don't know that it's a suggestion.
Right.
So I'm like, and then in a small thing, it's like, because you checked out this, or because you saved this, or because you liked this. And I'm like, because some of them I'm scrolling, I'm like, wait, when did I follow this? And then I'll look at it, I'm like, oh, I'm not following this. You're trying to like give me a suggestion. And even on like it has like highlight reels that you could watch, like, what are they called? Like reels, yeah,
reels.
Instagram reels. So like, because we were sending each other like those snake videos in the highlight reels, it's like check out this snake video, check out this. And like my sister and your brother always send me dog videos, so it's just like snakes and dogs, and I'm like, I don't even follow these people, but that's all I'm seeing now.
This is what I mean by
the algorithm. Really runs everything.
Machines are running our worlds.
So if all you're doing is you're clicking on these like conspiracy stuff or these anti-vax stuff, it's like that's all you're gonna get. You're just gonna. That's so trippy. We knew this too.
Yeah,
we've been saying it, but it's when you said it at this moment, I was like, that it clicked completely, because it's like, no human can synthesize that amount of data. So you're just watching a politician be like, today we're repping this, today we're repping this. Oh, that was wrong, but now we're repping this. And it's like, that's such an algorithm-based way of leading. Yeah. It's kind of freaky. Because like, what is true? Like Joe Rogan was saying this, you have to, what do you call it? You have to gather your own data, right? You have to curate your own data. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And like, but what he's saying is not many people do that. You know, if most people are running off of like, what am I being seen? What's being presented in front of me? Then it's just straight algorithms. If you don't look outside the algorithm, how will you know what's true or not? But who has the time to do that?
Yeah, no one has the time to do that. Like, no, like, why would I go outside of my time? I want to just enjoy what I'm, or
and I want confirmation bias. I want to know what I think is true.
Yeah.
Dude, that's trippy.
This is why they act in trying to prevent some, like, why YouTube is doing that.
Of like taking everything down. Yeah, that makes total sense. Wow, that's actually really scary to think about. It's like the Black Mirror episode where like the big box is actually running everything, you know?
Yeah.
They had like credit scores and stuff, like social scoring.
Yeah. I mean, it was YouTube's own algorithm that led it to that, right? Following misinformation.
Yeah,
and then now they're like, wait, we got to fix this.
Kind of mess that one up. Yeah. But you know, so like AI, speaking of AI, Elon Musk, he said this thing. He's like, you have to be very specific with coding for AI. You have to give it a very direct. So like if you're like, his example was, if you tell AI that their objective is to maximize happiness for humans. So the AI might take that as, okay, I'm going to strap you down and just inject you with serotonin, because serotonin or dopamine. I'm just going to inject you with dopamine. Right? But that's not the life we want. That's not what we wanted. So you still need human, what do you call that? Differentiation. Like, you need the human ability to like be like, not this. What we actually mean. How do you context?
Context.
Like, the subtle cues of like, no, we don't actually mean to strap us down and inject us with dopamine. You know, but if you look at the way algorithms are run, that's the problem we had. It's like, just show them more of this.
Yes,
but we didn't realize that could lead them down the wrong rabbit hole. And that's the problem we're seeing now. It's like the coding was too simplistic, that now it is giving us what we wanted, but not what we quote unquote wanted.
I mean, the internet changed the world in a very quick way. So I wonder, like, we watched all of the docs. So is there legislation here that needs to be done?
Legislation?
Like laws to...
Yeah,
but it's so hard to do. I
don't even think it's a legislation issue.
No. What I'm saying is, like, can that be done? But also, because the internet keeps changing so quickly, like, it's not like maybe you have something for Twitter, but it's like there's a new one that comes out that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like it's hard to,
and you still don't get over.
And you can't really regulate the internet.
Even laws and regulations don't get over the limitation of coding. Because still, it's like the coding was show them more of this.
No, yeah, I know. No, I think, yeah, the one that we were watching, the doc, was specifically like age based, right? So like if you affect them at a young age,
Oh, okay, yeah,
you already, leading them in a certain direction.
yeah, right.
So I don't know. It's a tough question, like, or a tough answer to kind of like figure this thing out.
I feel like we can't turn to policymakers to fix this. We need to turn to coders. We need to be like, you need to rev up your logic process here.
Sure, but it's a business.
Because
right?
like, okay, so policymakers, they don't understand how code works. So
well, I mean, yeah.
how
So
are you
in that
going to
sense,
make that?
so in that sense, is what YouTube doing the right thing?
Maybe the realization we talked about this a long time ago, but like governments that have run for the majority of our lives, all governments have been totalitarian or like kings, right? And then everything else was like underneath, and that's how nature works too. Like you look at the queen bee, hives, you know what I mean? There's so many things that like it shows you that you need one leader and drones.
Yeah,
But we all want to be the leader, but it's like, that's not possible. It's like democracy. Maybe democracy really isn't possible. Because like you need, like, even though we're running a democracy, what they're showing now through this like removal of anti-vax stuff that's just totalitarian. That's more king on drone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, even though you want everybody to have individual freedoms, they're almost like realizing now that was the wrong move. That's why they have to ban everything that's anti-vax. Because all these people, they're like, yeah, you can upload all of that. And then they're like, wait, that's actually confusing other people. We need you to stop uploading all that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the cure to all this is like full control and treating us all like drones.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. So
that's why you need the medicine drip method. That's why they're slowly banning uploading videos that are anti-vax, and they're not allowing people to take.
Yeah,
training.
I wonder
like
how much
medicine drip
was
method.
like.
Maybe
I wonder how much was government influenced, or was that like internally based for YouTube to do?
I feel like it was internal, like because YouTube is a multinational organization.
Yeah, but but is that thing only for American, or is that for all of YouTube?
No, they're taking it down, so that means it's all YouTube.
Okay.
You won't be able to find it.
Okay.
So it's not like country restriction. They probably know, because they're like, we'll just use VPNs to get around that. So like, we just have
most people don't know how to use VPN.
No, I'm kidding, but like, you know what I mean? There's ways around it. So I think the whole idea is that they're just going to ban them outright. But again, to ban it all, that's an algorithm.
Yeah,
because nobody's going to listen to all of that.
No. It's an algorithm again doing the work for us.
Yeah.
Which is, it might catch things that are not actually misinformation too.
In our pursuit for automation, we've destroyed ourselves. Like in our pursuit for comfort and automation, we've like ruined. And it's like, you know what I mean? Because like the algorithm is automation and comfort.
Yeah.
Like you don't want every person to be listening to it to be like, is this you don't want humans discerning for themselves. You want a computer program to discern for you to make it faster. But that has its own issues. Like they were doing that thing in China where they weren't allowed to talk about politics. So a lot of these people, these activists, the first 5 seconds were about makeup, and then they'd start talking about the real issue.
Yeah.
Because that gets around the algorithm, because then the algorithm's like, oh, it's a makeup video. Yeah. Hackers, man.
Yeah, that they also exist. They will find ways to have workarounds.
Yeah, it's because you need people making the judgment call.
Yeah.
But you can't do that.
Yeah.
In a giant society. What they say, like billions of hours every day gets uploaded.
Oh yeah.
To YouTube. So it's like, how many billions of people are 7? So if there's 200 billion hours uploaded every day,
yeah.
You don't have the manpower.
No, of course not.
So you need algorithms.
Yeah.
but the algorithm can be hacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that was it's a continuous race, right? It's like, okay, they'll figure out a way to hack it, and then we have to find a way to stop that hack, and they'll find another hack. It's just a continuous thing. I'm wondering if like maybe we should just like go to sleep like the Matrix. We should just be batteries for the robot humans. You know what I mean? Like, because then that way there's no harm. We just get injected with dopamine. We don't need to think.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this is part of our simulation. So we gotta go through this right now.
Maybe we are in the Matrix.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, if you watch that movie, it's like the turn of the century when humans were at their apex for technology. That's when the robots took over. And it's like, maybe we are. Yeah. You know? All right. That's depressing. All right. Let's end off with something happy. And that's Halo.
Okay, Halo.
So I started playing Halo again this week. You haven't played it yet, right?
No.
God, do you remember how amazing that game was?
Yeah.
It's probably the best shooter I've ever... We really started playing like Call of Duty, but there's so many memories that are tied with Halo. Remember we used to play in my basement?
Yeah. I think that's probably also like the added on
happiness,
the love
like
for Halo. Yeah.
Yeah,
we grew up with that.
Yeah. Remember I'd bring my Xbox over to Wobb's house too, and we just play there. Like, it was just like a couch co-op. We don't have that anymore. But
no,
like,
I think they're gonna bring it back. But yeah.
Or remember like multiplayer? It would just be like 2 versus 2. That was like the craziest thing. Mm-hmm. And then you'd be like, "Don't look at no screen watching, bro." But it's like it's all on one screen, so I don't understand.
Everyone was screen watching, even if you said that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but I think Halo is one of those timeless games, just like StarCraft. Yeah, like you just it was like the epitome of perfection. Mm-hmm. And I think no game will ever beat that. I feel like Call of Duty, after jumping back to Halo, like I was always a Halo person, but then we were all playing Call of Duty, so I was like, all right, I'll play Call of Duty. But I didn't like it because everyone's like, oh, it's so real, but it's like, but I don't want to play a real game. You know, I like the rockets and like the sticky bombs and the booster jumps, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, remember Apex tried that?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's like, it wasn't the same. Mm-hmm. Like, plus you have the backstory of being like a Master Chief, which is really cool. Yeah.
That's why I think Bungie's other game, Destiny, had a lot of that Halo feel to it.
Okay, I didn't play that though.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't like the RPG the stuff of it. I did like.
You didn't need to play story, just multiplayer, bro.
Yeah, no. That's what I liked. I did like the multiplayer, which is what I was playing mainly. Like at least on the first Destiny, I didn't buy the second one.
Right. Yeah. You think it's worth playing, or like the first one?
Oh, Destiny?
Yeah. Like should I jump into it or no?
I don't know. You can see if it's because they do have all that. I think they have the boost and stuff, but there is some changes to it. But it is Bungie who made it.
Actually, well, speaking of classic games, GTA 5, classic game.
Yeah.
The server's still running.
Of course.
That's the problem. You know, it's like even StarCraft, I was shocked that the servers are still running. Like people are still playing StarCraft. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the only problem is like once the developer's like, meh, I'm gonna close the server, then you're like, no.
Yeah.
But like there were these moments in time where these games hit perfection, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I feel like there's almost like nothing can be topped. You know? It's like also a legacy game because it was the first game. Like that was their big sell for Xbox. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they went through a problem with Halo 5.
No, 5 was got 5 out of 5. It's 4.
No. I don't mean like that. I mean like after Halo 5, there was no other Halos for that Xbox.
That's true. Yeah. Well, the Infinity that's coming out soon.
No, that's the only one that's coming out after how many years, right? And even that was pushed because of the lackluster and what the graphics look like.
It looks basically the same.
I don't know. Like I have to see once it's out, like what it's actually like, because there's already some backlash on it.
And what they're touting for Halo Infinite is like the big sell is like it's a giant battle, but I actually didn't like the giant battles because you can do giant battles in Halo 5.
No, yes, you can.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was just too many people. It's like, like I don't. The thing about Halo is great is it was a small map, and we're just.
Well, that's why they have the option for both. I think they're gonna have the same thing on both.
Oh, okay.
Like you'll have the small map because you gotta have that. That's classic. Like you have to have this.
Do you remember Beaver Creek?
Yeah.
So that was the smallest map you can get, and that was great. Like,
yeah.
That was the thing about Call of Duty too. Like the maps are like very big, but you also can't see each other because like they're like with Halo, it's like you're either red or blue, and you stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all about like action. Whereas like you can camp in Call of Duty. You can camp technically in Halo, but it's way harder.
No, it's within the bushes, right? I remember something
yeah. But if you camped, there's also the rocket launcher.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you know where he is, rocket that area. But you can't. There's no rocket launcher. Well, there is a rocket launcher.
It was too realistic, right?
It's too realistic. It takes forever.
Yeah.
Load it up.
Yeah.
Do you remember we were playing recently, like a while back? Actually, been a while since we played Call of Duty. But we were playing in France, and then there was the car coming, and then he's like, "Does nobody have a Stinger, like a rocket launcher?" And then so I switched over to a rocket launcher, and then when I started playing with the rocket launcher, when I tried to shoot it, it's like there's too much. Like you have to reload. It's so long, you know. Whereas it wasn't like I was expecting Halo, you know, where it's like jump in the air, shoot the rocket, you know. But it's not like that. You gotta lock on with the.
I don't know. Yeah, if Sony can make one of their own, it's hard to do.
We'll see.
It's hard to do. Like Halo hit all the right spots, and I don't think there's been another game like that.
No, and I think that's like,
or at least that franchise, right? So.
And I think that's the main console seller. Like even now.
I mean, that's why I bought the Xbox One.
That's what I'm saying, right? So I feel, well, yeah, that's also why I bought the very first Xbox because it was up to PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah, I remember those rules a long time ago. PlayStation. No, it was PS2.
Was it
It was PS2 versus Xbox.
Yeah.
PlayStation was already out. I bought the PlayStation. But then I was upgrading systems and it was PS2 versus Xbox. There was all these anime games for PS2 and I loved anime. So I was like, oh, I want to get this. Like the RPGs were legit.
Yeah.
But they couldn't contest with Xbox, you know, with Master Chief.
Yeah.
Like seeing that Halo, I was like, I have to play this game. You know, there are certain games that are like console sellers. And I feel like Halo is that. Like even now, after getting back into Halo, if I were to choose between PS5 and Xbox, I'm kind of leaning towards Xbox because I'm like, if the new Halo game's amazing, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
Although they won't have like the amazingness of the controller. But at the same time, it's like Halo. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I think that brought it back up from the sadness. We talked about the negativity of coding. Now we talked about the positivity of coding because Halo's amazing.
Video games are just fun.
So that's the thing. Maybe that's our dopamine hit. They're just like, we'll let them play video games. We'll introduce these streamings. They don't need to leave their house. Just sit down, shut up.
Yeah.
Be a drone.
I mean, these systems made a killing during the pandemic.
It's very true. And yet, Xbox, the new one, hasn't even come out yet. You're saying, right? Like it's like not.
You mean Halo?
No, the system
is out.
Oh, I was asking about that. You were like, no, the system.
Oh, the system is out.
Oh, okay.
They're all hard to find.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But there are like selling. That's why it's hard to find because it keeps selling out.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Because I was confused during the week when I was like, "Oh, Halo, the system's not out." Like I was talking about the system, you were like, "Oh, it's not out yet."
The Halo is not out yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the system. I meant
Halo's not out yet. The system's out.
Oh, okay. Is the system worth getting? It's only $300. Not bad for digital.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the PS5 side.
Yeah, but I mean that one. Even the digital for that one's expensive, right? How much is? It's like $500.
Yeah, because it's
like $4.99 something.
Yeah, digital. There's the digital one that they have. They have two versions on the Xbox side. I think Series S, Series X. So there's a difference in the quality output or graphical output
for Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why they're on two different price points.
Okay. Wait. What do you mean? Like, are you comparing the PS5 and the Xbox, or are you?
So the PS5 is comparative to Series X.
Oh, I see what
The
you're saying.
digital and the disc one.
Oh, okay.
The Series S is just it's a
Straight digital,
but it's lesser
lower graphics.
in graphics.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that was like $300. I was like, oh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the Series S one. I didn't know that there was a Series S.
No, that is a Series S.
Or whatever the more
Series
expensive-
X.
X, yeah.
X is the higher
Okay.
one. Yeah.
The X doesn't come with a digital only, or does?
I don't know actually. I think it has a disc tray. Yeah.
Okay, so the Series X has the disc tray,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
has better graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw like there was one that was $300, and then one that was like really expensive, and I was like, "What's it? Why would I buy the really expensive one?" Yeah. I didn't know the graphics.
It's a difference in graphics.
But we'll see when Halo comes out, because it might not be worth it.
We'll see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting for the multiplayer trailer. We'll see.
Yeah. At $300, it's not bad to play Halo as well. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Hopefully we brought that back up at the end after the sadness of our realization.
Yeah.
It wasn't high octane. It was a roller coaster, unlike Venom. All right, so next week we'll check out... No, I'm checking about Bond on Saturday. We're checking out on Tuesday, so you'll have to wait 2 weeks before we talk about Bond. But yeah, it looks like a lot of good movies are coming out soon.
I'm going to try to watch all the 4 Bond movies.
Oh, maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that probably, yeah.
All right, cool. All right, till next week.
Yeah.
Tasty Fish.
Peace.
Bye. All right, hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Fish.
Peace.